The banker's smile faded before the system even loaded. One second, he was all polite efficiency. The next, his fingers froze mid-air, his eyes locked on the screen like it had whispered something obscene. He turned to me. "Sir, this account's been active since 1948. Active! My grandfather died in 1972. The card in my hand, worn, cracked, with his name pressed into the metal, wasn't supposed to work. It shouldn't even register." I felt the weight of years collapse inward. My pulse slowed, not sped. That calm before realization when your mind prepares for something bigger than fear. The manager looked pale, sweating in his collar. He whispered to the teller who looked at me like I was a ghost. When the numbers finally appeared, I forgot to breathe. Zeros stacked endlessly. But that wasn't what froze me. It was the last transaction date, 3 months ago. The same week my ex-wife and her lawyer boyfriend took everything from me. When Emily left, she didn't just leave me, she dismantled me, methodically, like taking apart a machine. First, the company. She transferred assets in her name, said it was temporary restructuring. Then the house, then the custody papers. Her lawyer boyfriend handled it all with surgical precision. Every clause, every signature. By the time I realized what was happening, the ink had already dried. And then came the verdict: unfit father, unstable, financially irresponsible. They left me with nothing but a faded card from my grandfather's old safe. I remember holding that card the night the court ruling came through, a relic from a man who built everything I lost. I didn't think it worked. It was nostalgia, not strategy. But that day in the bank, it hummed. Something about the timing. It didn't feel random. It felt orchestrated. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of the motel bed, staring at the faint glow of my laptop screen. The account was real. The bank confirmed it under legacy protection status. My grandfather's name, but a recent authorized signature. Not his. I cross-referenced transaction routes, internal routing IDs. The money didn't just exist, it moved, slowly, quietly, and every transfer ended up at the same destination, a firm registered under ED Holdings, Emily Davis, her initials. She didn't just take my company, she had been draining my family's hidden fortune for years, money I didn't even know existed. She used my grandfather's old network, his connections, his silent account. And the man she left me for? He wasn't just her lawyer, he was the executor of that account. The betrayal wasn't emotional, it was architectural, built over years, layered with charm, trust, and false pity. I smiled. Finally, something to anchor the chaos. 2 weeks later, I met her in the lawyer's office. I asked for closure. She came, flawless, confident, draped in silent victory. I handed her a folder. She glanced down, smirked, and flipped it open. Then she stopped breathing. Transaction logs, digital signatures, her initials beside every illegal withdrawal. Her lawyer, her lover, looked at me, eyes flicking between the papers and her trembling hand. He reached for the folder. She pulled it away. Panic bloomed in silence. I leaned back, calm. "I found something," I said softly, "something that's been alive longer than either of us." No shouting, no accusations, just quiet inevitability. I could almost hear the collapse inside her mind, how fast arrogance curdles into dread. She stood. "You can't!" I interrupted her without raising my voice. "It's already done." The next morning, federal auditors walked into their firm. Not with guns, with files, with proof. Her accounts were frozen within hours. His license was suspended. She called, twice, then 3 times. I didn't answer. On the 4th try, I picked up. Her voice cracked. What did you do?" I looked out the window of my new office. my grandfather's name etched on the plaque beside mine. I returned what was never yours. She started sobbing, but I didn't feel anything. Not rage, not satisfaction, just release. She had turned everything I loved into a weapon. I had turned her silence into a verdict. By the end of the week, they were both under investigation. The company returned to its rightful line, the family trust. The irony was perfect. The account she used to destroy me became the evidence that destroyed her. I visited the bank again, same desk, same chair. The manager smiled nervously this time. "Everything in order, Mr. Davis?" "Yes," I said, finally. I watched the balance on the screen, not as a man obsessed with wealth, but as someone who finally understood inheritance. Not money, control, clarity. Emily's face lingered in my memory. Those eyes that once calculated every move, now hollow, stripped of the mask she built so carefully. She taught me one thing. Love isn't the opposite of hatred, it's blindness. And I'm done being blind. I closed the account that day, permanently. Walked out into the cold evening air. The world didn't feel lighter, it just felt quieter. I didn't need revenge anymore, just distance. Still, as I passed the glass door, I caught my reflection. And for the first time in years, I looked like my grandfather, the man who never forgot what was his. End.